Yo, what's up? It is the Purple Yeti. I'm back. It has been a while now, hasn't it? Some could say that it was because of the massive upset loss to Baylor from Kansas State. As a matter of fact, I think you can see I might have gotten a Baylor claw to the face or something. But, what happened was a thing called Thanksgiving, and it was a week off. Broke my continual streak, but that's okay. I'm back with my ridiculous moniker. I got some tasty Big Red Zero. I'm gonna watch the weight. Thanksgiving was rough. Got my classic K-State shirt on because, I mean, really, they kind of played like classic K-State. And it's been 2 weeks, so let's do 2 weeks worth of whatever the hell just happened in college football, why don't we? You know? I guess first we'll start out with the Baylor-Kansas State game. Kind of saw this one coming all along. I know what you're saying. Oh, everyone was all like blowouts and goodbye and send it home, and will K-State beat Texas for the national championship ticket? And it just didn't happen that way. Too many injuries. If we would have known about those injuries, I think it would have been a little less surprising for everybody else. But Ty Zimmerman was out, as well as some other guys, and even on the field, some guys were getting knocked out. And that just kind of culminated into not having an answer to Baylor's high-paced offense. They keyed off of Zimmerman's replacement and just kept throwing at him, and combination of that and Baylor's Lukey Seastrunk, who was that Oregon commit that decommitted due to some recruiting scandal and ended up with Baylor. He has been starting to run a little bit more unleashed the last couple of weeks, and it showed, especially during the K-State game. So, you know, I'm not making any excuses. They got their asses kicked. Congratulations to Baylor. That helped you go bowling, and we'll get to that in a second. And, well, they got to lick their wounds and take on Texas this Saturday. Oh, yeah. A Saturday against Texas for Kansas State. If they win it, they get the Big 12 title and a BCS bid. If they don't, well, it's just like last year. So we'll find out, I guess, this Saturday. Other news items. The Big 12, I mentioned Baylor earlier. The Big 12 now has 90% of the league as being bowl eligible. Sorry, Kansas. Or sorry, Kansas. Yeah, that's a pretty amazing stat when you think about it. I mean, I don't know if that's ever happened in any conference, ever. But 6 wins for 9 teams. It's a pretty big depth chart right there. Pretty tall order. Of course, you won't hear it from the lopsided conferences. The top-heavy conferences who like to who manage PR better than anything else. But that's fine. That's awesome. More bowls for the schools mean more money to the conference, means more practice for the kids, which means even more tougher teams next year. And you know what? Even Charlie Weiss down in Kansas is starting to turn his team around. He kind of woke up in the middle of the year and realized, hey, I'm more of a running team and not a throwing team, so that's what they started doing. So, hey, congrats, no matter what happens, congrats to the Big 12 for just being tough all around. Most well-rounded conference out there. So, because of all that fallout, and even Oregon went through the same thing, just injuries. Stanford had a style that was completely opposite of theirs, and they shut them down. Oregon lost. So at least I'm happy that no Pac-12 team is going to be in the national championship game. That said, Alabama and Georgia are back in it now. That sucks. But, you know, the SEC has always done well in managing their PR campaign, so they're cashing in that media chip to another championship game because, well, who likes a front runner? I don't, but yeah, all of ESPN does, which makes complete sense. I mean, front running, it pays the bills. So that's that. But you're all wondering, hey, who's already in it? Who is there? And that's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. 12-0, they beat USC. You know, I gotta take a little aside. As I was driving back from Kansas City for Thanksgiving down back here to Austin, there was some pockets of really bad radio pretty much all across the AM dial. I had the wonderful opportunity of using a phone app because I had a car charger called TuneIn that allowed me to listen to ESPN radio and listen to, in pretty clear fidelity, the Notre Dame USC game. This is by all means not a commercial. I'm just saying, if you're on the road, that's going to be your best bet than, say, local radio, hands down, all the time. I even got to listen to a little bit of the Chiefs game yesterday while struggling to get through Waco. Woo. So, that said, Notre Dame went 12-0. They're undefeated. Congratulations. I say Monte Teo for Heisman and not Johnny Football. Not just because stats. The biggest one that matters is undefeated, but not just because of the freshman stuff. It's because Texas A&M fans are damn annoying. Like, I didn't know about it, but man, they're taking the troll-like atmosphere that surrounds much of the SEC and has amplified it to the Texas size that Texas is. It is just, wow. I mean, I'm sure people I meet in person, they're nice and all that other stuff, but man, message boards and on the online community is trollerific. I'm sure I'm probably going to hear something down below, but from my experience online, it's troll tide all the way. Troll hags. So I hope Monte Teo wins it now. I'm pushing all my effort. Or maybe Collin Klein throws 5 touchdowns in a blowout win over Texas and regains some of his Heisman mojo, which probably won't happen. I don't know. Texas A&M is not playing this week, so Klein has a chance if he throws 5 touchdowns and rushes for 2 to really get back into that race. I mean, he's got more wins than Johnny Football. So, I mean, there's that, right? Oh. Now you're all wondering, ooh, why am I going to Notre Dame all of a sudden? I did go to a Catholic high school, and their colors just happened to be gold and blue, navy and gold, the whole thing. So I am kind of a Notre Dame fan. I don't let it show through. You must be wondering, oh, you're bandwagoning. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that if there's no such thing as Kansas State, Notre Dame would be number 2. Kind of talked about it in the past. I'm kind of happy to see Notre Dame there, but, I mean, in all seriousness, they're not a Big Ten team, and what's awesome is that people think they should be, and history, if you ever read your history book, you know they'll never join a conference anyway. But they're not a Big Ten team, they're not an SEC team, they're not a Pac-12 team, they're not in a conference that I just really am not a fan of, you know. I mean, there's some teams in there that I like and all that other all around, you know, but it's Notre Dame, and I'd rather have Notre Dame, and I'd rather have Notre Dame whoever wins the SEC championship game this week, the Georgia Dogs or the Alabama overrated Crimson Tide. Rolloveration. Yeah, just invented that word. So, there's that. So it's championship week coming up. All the chips fell where they are now laying, and we have a couple of decent games to look forward to. Texas and Kansas State is going to be actually a pretty good game, although since Texas lost TCU over Thanksgiving, it's probably going to be a letdown for Texas. I don't know if they could play spoiler, but I mean, they still have quarterback controversy, so, you know, whatever for that. And then, of course, the SEC championship game Conference title games outside of that, nobody really cares about. The Big Ten don't care. Wisconsin, you backed your way in because you're in a cheating league. I think that's the legend of the leaders, or the lamers. Larcenies, maybe. And then Nebraska, which, hey, you know, you guys just weren't up to snuff beating a real conference and getting a real conference championship in the Big 12, so go ahead. I wish you all the best. I'm rooting for you guys to do it in the Big 10. So go Nebraska in that game. The Pac-12 don't care. What, is it like Stanford and somebody else? UCLA? UCLA? Who? Whatever. Go away. Ick. And the Big East, of course. Actually, Thursday night, it's Louisville against Rutgers, and whoever wins goes to the BCS. So that's a big pickup for ESPN. They did not orchestrate it. I know. Quiet. Shh. Quiet. So that's that. The regular season kind of sort of is over. We got that next week, and I think Army-Navy or some big. There's always one game that's after the last championship week that I think Army plays or something. I don't know. Anyway, a lot of the regular season is over for a lot of teams, and by a lot of I mean all. Because of that, there's a lot of firings. So Chizik's out. Some guy at NC State's out. Embree's out after 2 years at Colorado because Colorado didn't care about football. And then like some other guys, Joker Phillips, he was fired earlier. John L. Smith's not returning, so on and so forth. A lot of rumors going around about which Big 12 coaches will leave. I think Tuberville will leave most, but I wouldn't hold my breath for Art Briles. I'm thinking now that Florence has graduated and RG3 is gone, they've had all their deal. Briles might make a jump over Tuberville. Don't think Gundy is going to leave because he's a lifer at that school, even more so than Pinkel at Missouri. Let's just hope Gundy doesn't get a DUI, watch a season fall apart, and have his wife leave him like Pinkel. Yeah, you don't want to follow too closely in those footsteps. So, you know, big carousel's coming up. You're going to probably see more here in about a week or two, although the losing teams are going to fire the guys, so you might have heard all the firings you're going to hear after a while. So we'll just find out who leaves and who stays. That's going to be exciting. Award season's coming up. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. But the important thing to remember is that it is the last big weekend of college football before bowl season starts, which really is just a month-long party, which in Christmas, December, the holidays, you need to have a month-long party just to say, hey, we all made it through the year, and we're ready for another one. So really, the biggest weekend is the end weekend, championship weekend, Kansas State, Texas. You know, drop a comment, let me know what you're excited about. And until then, guys, I think I'm going to cut it short. I know I owe you probably a double-length episode, but you're not going to get it. It was Thanksgiving. I'm still like, I've got a turkey haze, so I'll just catch y'all next week, and hopefully I won't be crying into this. Hey, until then, see ya.